So, frequent commenter and viewer to this channel, your mom, asked for a setup tour, likely in response to me knocking over my mic stand in my speedrun 4 gameplay video.
What do I care? It's his choice if he wants to do that or not.
Which more likely than not sparked the curiosity of how I do things around here and why the hell my mic even fell down in the first place to begin with. I'm gonna do just that in this video, show you how I do my shit around here, and be aware that I'm not made of money. So, you know, a lot of the stuff you may see around here and the way I do things may be seen as like kind of ghetto rig, you know. I will be the first to admit to that. And also, you know, this is going to be probably the most YouTube-like it's going to be around here. So let's get started. So this is kind of how I do my stuff around here. Now, at least pertaining to videos that are made here at this desk that typically involve me recording my screen, this is the general setup I have. I would usually have my camera, which is basically my phone, which I'm already using to record this, which is why nothing's up here. I have it propped up on this Jenga box against this part of the window sill. And plugged into it are these earphones that have a mic on them, and the mic typically is positioned right here. And as a way to mitigate the pop effect from any air that could, you know, come from me speaking, I typically place this little lint cover for laptops. I place it right over that, you know. Obviously, if I get close enough to it, the air is gonna leak through regardless, but the mic is just at the right distance from my mouth for me to be heard without that happening. So this works just fine enough. And here my headphones are right here. These are actually freaking broken, unfortunately, because the wire that's nearest to the jacks is bent too much. I realized, you know, that having wired headphones is an absolute ass of a bitch, you know. Obviously, here's my water so that I don't die within 2 seconds of dehydration. So yeah, that's generally how I record my videos. You know, I have the camera propped up right here, have the mic, earphone mic connected to it, have it propped up on this stack of Jengas, which is why I can fall so easily. So that's really the crux of the problem when it comes to the mic stand being knocked over, which, by the way, this is the mic stand in case you haven't realized already. Now, this setup is generally the same regardless of where I'm recording. Say I'm recording the videos, hope this is not too dark for everyone to see. Let's say I'm recording the videos like how I used to, in front of these closet doors right here, you know. I just place the Jenga box right here and have the phone balance against the wall atop the Jenga box. And I sit right here and just say some shit. And I have the earphone mic plugged into it, and I have it in front of my mouth on this, on the top of my guitar right here, which is why you may see the head of this guitar in the foreground of some videos. Now, recording aside, let's see how I do things on the computer, like afterwards, post-production and all. Now, my primary video editing software, let me just turn on my mouse. My primary video editing software is now DaVinci Resolve. You can see right here, it's in my taskbar. I open it. You know, video editing is kind of straightforward. You know, it is a fun process. It can sometimes be arduous and tedious, but you know, if I want to polish up my videos, it's kind of like a must-do process. I'm going to show you the edited file of my Roblox horror gameplay video, just to give you an idea about, you know, kind of what it looks like, you know. I mean, after all, it's not really actually about looks so much as it is about, you know, actually editing it and polishing it. But generally, it's not necessarily an easy task. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's hard. I would say it's more so difficult. So as you can see right here, software's lagging a little bit, but yeah, you can see right here the areas in blue are the videos and the areas in green is the audio. I have all like the different, you know, pictures and whatnot, different sound bites that I want to use, you know. So, you know, kind of straightforward stuff that sort of looks complicated on the surface, but you know, once you kind of know what's going on, then it should be at least easier to digest. Now, you may be wondering what's happened, particularly to VSDC video editor. I'll say now, I no longer use that as my primary video editing software. However, I now use that no more than just a video converter. You know, I use that now just merely as a video converter. because that's one thing that VSDC does have over DaVinci, is that it's far more compatible with different file formats than DaVinci. However, in terms of editing software, I do find that DaVinci is much easier to use. I'm able to use it much more naturally, and the workflow that I have with it is so much smoother. Now, if you can see, right, I'm just gonna go to like a random video right here. Go to my edited camping trip vlog. So I left behind VSDC for several reasons, but you know, it is sort of kind of hard to work with. I mean, particularly when there's so many jump cuts in my videos. I mean, cutting, I've already specified, or splitting a video clip is already kind of, it takes like 7 steps to do it, whereas in DaVinci you just have to like right click and then split, and then that's it, you know. Very simple process. So while VSDC is not necessarily a part of my post-production process anymore, whenever there is a file that's not compatible with VSDC, or my bad, DaVinci, then I'll generally run it through VSDC, run it through the conversion system, which I think is pretty good. Asset of the software, I'll typically run it through VSDC before tossing it into DaVinci to change them. Now you may be wondering how I record my screen whenever I'm doing, let's say, like a gameplay video or anything that really involves anything on screen. Before, I would use VSDC's complementary screen recorder, which you cannot actually, for some reason, adjust the frame rates on, so it kind of just adjusts itself, which is a problem because particularly when it fluctuates, it can either get really choppy or, you know, at the very most, it could be somewhat decent. Now I use this software right here called Fast Stone Capture, which among other things also works as a screen recorder, you know, so it can not only capture like different images, you know, focus on here, so you're not only can like screenshot different images in like your window, whatnot, on your computer. It also functions as a screen recorder, and typically I have it to record my full screen, and you can change the audio. Typically speakers is what I prefer, you know. I don't want, you know, I'm already having my audio come through here and my, you know, the phone and whatnot. Here you go to options, you can like edit the parameters and whatnot. So I have it to set to 30 frames per second, which is the best it can do. Well, that's fine, you know, it's standard level for like good, you know, screen recording. So, you know, it's clean, but it's not exactly crisp, but that's still good enough. I don't have these settings checked, or else, you know, you'll have an annoying thing with the mouse where it's all highlighted and like overemphasized more than it needs to be. Obviously record, you know, audio, record mouse clicks, I have that off, you know. So basic, straightforward options here. Going back here, you just kind of hit record. I mean, you kind of actually kind of have to hit record like 4 times just to get it going, but nonetheless, it's still pretty satisfactory software, very lightweight screen recorder. And, you know, whenever I do save it, it saves as a Windows Media file, right? Or Windows Media video. And that's not compatible with DaVinci. So, you know, this is where the VSDC comes in as the video converter. I know that there's standalone video converters out there, but I may as well just work with what I have. So, you know, I don't want to go to too much trouble uninstalling this and then downloading a new one. You know, this one works just fine. So I just run it through here, and then I toss the clip into DaVinci, and then I get to work on it. So that's pretty much what I'm working with here. So now with all that out of the way, you kind of already know how I do stuff, you know, how I make videos, especially, you know, around here in this little environment and basically any location that I film in. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as, you know, setup and, you know, how I make videos, how all that kind of goes. But I also just wanted to reserve this last section of the video just, you know, as a little bit of YouTube talk, but also to make some announcements. Now, I do realize that a lot of this, you know, setup, it's obviously stuff that I have, you know, it's not everything I want, but it's what I have, and I'm willing to work with what I have so long as I can actually generate some form of content from this desk and laptop and phone of mine here. But I do realize that in this position I am in, while I do not have all the filmmaking, recording, YouTube equipment that I may want, or maybe not the best, I do realize this position is especially unique to people who are just starting out on YouTube. You know, this is probably the most YouTube-like my channel is going to be. for a long time, you know, just a person recording themselves and then putting it out there for all to see. I do realize that. You know, you got your, you know, YouTubers who've started from a similar position, but now they've made it. You got YouTubers like PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, you know, while they are still YouTubers, you know, and their success is definitely well earned. But I think the argument can be made about the three of them that they are definitely, it feels more so like they're on their way to becoming A-list celebrities as opposed to just simply YouTubers. I mean, you know, they've got their own companies now. They've got, you know, they're making their own shows, you know. I think Markiplier is in the process of making a heist with Markiplier 2, you know. So some crazy ass stuff, you know, and they've made a fully sustainable living off of doing YouTube, you know, and that's really amazing to see. You know, but a lot of times, you know, you find people wanting to, you know, go back to the roots, you know, reminiscing on when these people were just small-time creators, just making people laugh and just, you know, doing, you know, kind of very amateurish looking stuff, you know. But they've ascended beyond being more than just YouTubers. Now, you know, their success has manifested into so many different forms. You know, it's practically unbelievable, you know. Only so many people on YouTube will get that type of success. So, you know, if ever there comes a point in this channel's life, you know, where there comes success, you know, which is not totally guaranteed, but I'll still be doing it, you know, because I like doing it. It's a pretty nice hobby, a passion of mine that I do practice. You know, while there's very little chance of a success, if ever there's gonna be a chance of success for this channel, this is probably going to be the point where not only me, but anyone who's watching will look back on and be like, oh, those days. I remember those days, you know, those days where he was just sitting in his room and just producing videos, you know, not knowing who they're going to go out to, who is going to view them. So this is probably, you know, a very good time to view this channel, if anything. You know, the humble roots stage is what I call it. Okay, now that small YouTube talk is done, I'm going to be making 3 announcements. First announcement I'm going to be making is that there are 2 new public playlists now on my channel that contain within them videos that are anyone can watch, but they are posted unlisted, primarily because I don't want to clutter my channel with both unpolished and polished videos. Whenever I do add new videos to either playlist, I will make sure to make announcements for them so that you can go ahead and watch and enjoy. The third and final announcement I do want to make is that I'm now going to be posting weekly. Yes, I know in this video I said I never intended to have a upload schedule, but I don't really see it as much of an upload schedule as it is a upload regimen. You know, I want to be at least consistent with my uploads because there's always big ass gaps that come unexpectedly between when I upload videos. And generally, I have a good amount of downtime that I don't really use to do productive shit, so I just may as well just have this regimen to just get me off my ass and, you know, maybe even make content out there for something that should be a hobby. You know, it shouldn't be too much trouble to ask for like a video once every Sunday, which is generally what I'm going to be aiming for, once every Sunday. The reason why I don't see this as a schedule is because I'm not uploading every like Sunday at 2 p.m, you know, like none of that stuff. You know, it's just Sunday whenever, and whenever it gets published, that's when it's going to get published, just so as long as it lands on a Sunday. So, you know, you're not just going to be left in the dark for like 2 weeks or like a month from my last video post. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about in this final section of the video. I really hope you enjoyed this setup tour and, you know, got an idea for how I do stuff around here. So if I can make, you know, at the very least decent quality videos with this kind of equipment I have, then suppose that you can do some of your own. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.